What's going on, everybody? This is Adam Potash. Hello, Victoria.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fantastic. You guys are listening to the Approach podcast. We have a the most, well, second, maybe second most special. No, I'll say she's the most special guest with us today. But before we get going, how has your week been?
My week has been good. Actually, my
Yeah.
brother got engaged, which was wonderful.
Wow. And
Yeah,
you had a
really
lovely
lovely.
Easter, I saw.
We had a lovely Easter. We did Easter egg hunts. Yeah, it was so
Yeah.
lovely.
I
Really
saw some of
nice.
the pictures. Everybody looked like they were having a good time. So,
Isaac loved it.
do you like the lucky lady?
I do. I love her. Yeah. It was like it's just a bit weird because my mum and her partner have been together 22 years, and then about a month ago they were like, "We're gonna get married in May." And we were all like, "Okay."
After 22 years.
After 22
Wow.
years, yeah. So it was just something we never thought they would do. And then last weekend, my brother and his girlfriend messaged and said, "Hey, we're engaged too." So
Love
it's
is
kind
in
of
the
their second
air.
engagement. Yeah. And apparently both weddings are this year. So yeah, they're just cracking on with it and getting it done.
And what about you?
No, I'm good.
We're not
I'm
going
very,
there. We're
very
not going
happily,
there.
I don't know, I'm just very happily like
Then don't change a thing.
happy.
If it's
Yeah.
not broke, don't fix it.
that that's how we feel. I think also we're just such travel people that we're like, if ever we have that amount of money, we're traveling with it. Like we're not
Hey,
like having a
I get
wedding.
all that. It makes perfect
I
sense to
know.
me. You don't need to
Yeah.
explain yourself. I get it. I get it.
But I'm interested as
Um,
to who this guest is.
yeah, so
Excited.
well, without further ado, why don't you come over here? Yes, you. So this is my wonderful mother with us today. Probably the reason that I really got into the health and wellness industry. And I don't talk about how I got into it from your perspective
Right.
enough. I talk about it from my perspective because it's my
Yeah.
life and I do, but it's really because of her. But it was more like a kind of subconscious thing of why I got into the health industry. But she's been in the health industry her entire life. How many years do you want to say?
Since I was about 25 and I'm 73 now, so my entire life.
And she looks pretty good
Oh
for
my goodness.
73, right?
I was gonna say, yeah, that's definitely like advocating for working in health. You look amazing.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for being here, Mom.
Oh, I'm happy to be here. I don't even know what a podcast is because of my age. So this is all new and exciting. So
Good.
So tell us a little bit about you in your industry and how you like your stages of being in the health industry and stuff like that.
that's a very good and very long question.
We got time. We got time.
I started in weight loss in the 70s. But weight loss back then was extremely different. But I want to backtrack for a second because when Adam was born, I don't know if you all know, do they know the
We've
story?
talked about this quite a bit. Yes, I so share your
Yeah.
side of things.
Okay.
I have a tortured side of things, but
Yeah.
you have a different side.
He was born with jaundice immediately, so they ran blood work. One of the blood work test results that came back was cholesterol and triglycerides.
See, that's so funny. I didn't know that that was why. So I was always curious
Right.
on why they tested my cholesterol. So that's why.
That's why it
Huh.
was part of the lab work for jaundice, and I didn't even know that. So he came back with 300 plus triglycerides, not having any
Wow.
food. So it's genetic for us, partly genetic.
Maybe you just say poorly when I was in there.
Yeah. So they turned us over to, when he was old enough, they turned us over to Jackson Memorial Hospital.
Right.
And they got me into a nutritionist. And actually, I found out later on I was much too hard on him because I was cutting out every fat, everything you could possibly know. And they followed
Torture
him.
as a kid. Torture.
Torture. They used to ask him, what does mom give you to eat? And he used to tell them, and they were like shocked because they said I overdid it. But as a
Wow.
new mom and not knowing about the industry or what that could cause later on in life,
I was like eating rice cakes for like breakfast,
yeah,
lunch, and dinner. Like seriously,
that's
Right.
like
true.
it was crazy.
So they followed him from Jackson Memorial Hospital for 24 years and
Wow.
realized that a lot of it was genetic. To tell you the truth, I don't know what part of that came into being with him turning to health and all that. I would imagine it had something to do with it.
I think
Yeah.
subconsciously, like 100%, like, yeah, just
He
being
put through that when he was a little
being
boy.
a part of all that as a young age. I mean, there's
Mhm.
other
Yeah.
big factors of why I got into the health industry, but that again was young age, just being in it. And
Yeah.
we used to go to these crazy, I remember going to these crazy health food stores, like in
Yeah.
the 80s, like
Right.
no fat, no this, like there's health food
Wow.
stores now. These were like crazy health food stores.
And to on that point, what health food and weight loss was back in the 70s was nothing like it is now. It was
Right.
diet pills, diet pills, diet pills, and putting you on supplements that had horrendous things in it,
Mhm.
and to hope that you gain back weight, because then you'd have to go back and pay more money.
Well, I don't know.
to-
Yeah, I don't know if the industry's changed that much.
I was-
Well, I'd like to think it has. I mean, looking at you and what you do now. I'd like to
Well,
think
but
it has.
what I do and what the industry does are way different. So we try and do
Yeah.
the right things, but yeah, but you're
It
absolutely right.
wasn't it for health back then. It was for money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the diets weren't diets. They were, I mean, if you look at Weight Watch, I mean, I shouldn't say names, I guess.
It's all right.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
Okay, Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig and all that stuff. If you look
Yeah.
at the ingredients on their food, because everybody wants a quick fix.
Yeah.
And the sooner they can get there, whatnot. So my weight loss ended me with doctors who ended up doing Cool Sculpting and Vanquish, and again, a quick fix.
Yeah.
And they're
Right.
still doing it today. So we still have the machines. So there's a part of the weight loss industry that's still in it just for the money. And very few, I would think it's safe to say, that actually help people the
Yeah.
way they need to be helped.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing it for the money and hoping
We-
you leave and gain weight and come back and
we-
pay more money.
We have a constant battle with that. Of, we just want to help people, and then we always tell people like we can charge so much more for what we do, but we just want to help people and get the right information into people's hands. But I mean, this is so I mean, obviously such interesting stuff and going down like memory lane. I mean, I was a kid, like in the doctor's offices that she would work, just kind of like I was just
You'd
like
be there, yeah.
walking around like after school and just like hanging out.
Right.
And so I was kind of like always around it. But you know, even with the pills and the drugs and all that stuff that back in the day, you were still helping people on a one-on-one level,
Yes.
which I don't think was, you were kind of innovative in that respect, I think.
I love people. Just between you and me and the lamppost, I'm an empath. So I have good feelings about people, and I kind of like read them. And
Yeah.
everybody came to me on a one-to-one outside the office setting.
Would you say I have a little of that, like knowing people?
No.
No?
Is that sarcastic?
No, I don't know. I'm a little harsh sometimes.
No, you're a little harsh, but you no, you absolutely do. I think especially one-on-one with people, I think you're
Yeah.
definitely like that.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, but it is genetic and it does run in the family, and it's helped me to help people my entire life. So
Yeah.
it's a good thing to have.
So I know you didn't know who our guest was today, but now that you know,
I know.
I'm sure you have a million questions, Victoria.
My first question is that it must have been such a strange position for you to be in, to be knowing that you know about health and wellness and weight loss, but then being a new mum to not, I think when you're a new mum, you're just desperate to get it right, feeding your
Right.
children. And it's so difficult with picky toddlers and influences from other people and children's parties and all of that. And my son is 3.5. We follow a plant-based diet at home. He's brilliant. All the issues come as soon as we're around other people and other influences. So I'm just interested from your point of view, what that was like being a new mum and just trying to get it right.
Extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Extremely difficult, because I was the only one doing that with my child. And
Yeah.
so you take going to parties, going here, going there, eating out, going to friends' houses. It was very hard.
And my mom is, as you could probably already tell, like really hardcore when it comes to that. She's not like deviating at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was always like, there was no veering from this. It was, we're doing this strict fat-free, no sugar, no, I mean,
It was scary.
it
It was
was-
really
Yeah.
scary to me. And you want to get it right as a parent and as a mom.
Yeah.
Did I go overboard? 100%, but
Yeah.
I didn't know what else to do.
I have PTSD to this day about it. You kidding me? Yeah, I swear I was so funny. I was out to dinner last weekend with a couple who we were talking about cholesterol and like it was like all coming back to
Yeah.
me. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
But
I still have issues with him because it is a genetic thing. I beg him all the time, and I'm sorry to hit you with this,
Yeah.
but to get a CT scan of the heart, it's called the
Yeah.
Widowmaker test because even though you're eating right and doing everything right, you could still have clogged arteries. So it's something that you
Yeah.
need to be on top of all the time, especially if
Yeah.
it's genetic in the family, which it is.
So I'm
in
just
ours.
thinking, and again, putting a lot of things into full circle here. Like your pressure as a kid definitely was what got me to this point today of just, helping people and curious about health and nutrition. On top of that, obviously, I talk a lot about grandma
Oh,
and
the sugar queen.
yeah. Well, but I saw my grandmother kind of, we have two different visions of how she passed.
Sure.
But she was on so many medications. My father
Mhm.
is alive today, but is on 15 medications, I think more.
Yeah.
And so I just, even as a younger kid, I think I was 17 when she passed, knowing that there was like a different way, like this
Yeah.
couldn't be the right way, because
Mhm.
I just remember like them, her and my uncle would constantly talk and bicker about the medication she was on, and this
Mhm.
medication countered this medication, and she needed
Yeah.
this to, debunk this, whatever it was, all the side
Yeah.
effects. And I just like listening to that, even, at 16, 17 years old, like I knew there had to be a better way. And so what is
Yeah.
your,
The funny thing is, I taught my mother's neurologist what to do with their medicines, and I found out through an international group chat that with Parkinson's, unfortunately, if you don't
Mm.
spread the medications apart from food, because calcium and protein will kill the cinnamon,
Right.
that it will lose its effect 100%. So the doctors and the home where she was staying had no clue why she was going through these episodes, and
Yeah.
I had to literally train her doctor, because even though you're a neurologist, it doesn't mean you're up on Parkinson's. So
No.
I had to do my own homework and my own research and teach them as to the whys and the wherefores. And I've taught a lot of people over the years, and it's
Yeah.
really helped a lot. So that's a good thing.
yeah, it was just, sad to go through that. I think there was just such a better, healthier approach to
Yeah.
anything, to any health concern,
Right.
rather than pushing medications.
Mhm.
And this is going back over 25 years now, I
Right.
guess. But I don't think we've gotten much better as far as doctors pushing
No.
medications and pills and whatever. So it's just kind of all
No.
that the industry knows. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of it comes down to, I think we spoke about a little bit about it on the podcast last week about your own mindset. Like I said, if I'm feeling tired, I immediately think, well, what do I need to eat or drink that's going to give me energy, rather than what medicine can I take to
right.
artificially make me feel
Can I
better?
ask your
Um,
age?
36.
Okay, you're a baby. Okay. The only reason I asked that is I'm very much, you mentioned being tired, and I got
Yeah.
into bioidentical hormones.
Oh, okay.
In my late 40s, and which helped me a lot. But that's a whole other
Wow.
menu right there.
Yeah.
Is
That should
how
be
it
another
helps.
podcast.
Yeah, yeah,
I would love to talk about that. I would love to talk about that.
right. Because your body starts to change in your 40s, and if you're not
Oh,
on top of
okay.
hormones, you don't realize what's happening. So yeah, definitely, it helps with
Hormones
energy
is
and
such an
everything.
interesting topic. And I think I really started to get more fascinated about hormones after my first pregnancy, because just the hormones of being pregnant really
Right.
change how you feel and your attitude, and you're thinking, wow, something natural within my body is able to change
Right.
everything, my sleep, my attitude, how I
Yeah.
like attitude towards different things. It's so interesting.
Doctors are so used to pushing antidepressants on you.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if they'd only adjust their hormones, they wouldn't need that.
Yeah.
But that's the whole medical industry. That's how it is nowadays, which is
Yeah.
sad. But
And it's not, again, like we keep talking about, it's not getting any better. And obviously
No.
you're kind of, I guess, maybe in tune with the new weight loss drugs that are,
right.
driven by celebrities and big pharma and all this. And, I don't know that we need to get into all that today, but it's
Well,
just,
no, the dietetic ones that are used for diabetes, they're turning out to be a horrendous
oh, it's the
issue.
worst. It's
Yeah.
the worst. And so if we take a look at that kind of,
Ozempic.
Yeah, yeah. If we take a look at that,
Yeah.
and we've got to be careful with that word around
Oh,
here. 'Cause
okay.
no, no, no. We run into issues with that word. It's all good.
Okay, sorry.
But what's going to happen in the next year, 2 years, 3 years when all these now, side effects come into play, and what are people going to
Yeah.
do? So we're already at 70% overweight. Like the society is 7%. Like, what are we going to do in the next 2 years, 3 years? Like, is it going to get worse? Like how? Like it's crazy to think about that.
I feel sorry for your generation only because my generation, I was raised on soda, water from a hose, Tang, and anything sweet. So then you have to start changing when you realize that that stuff isn't good for you. But that's how my mother raised us. And her family was very poor. So they loved getting these things that were like delicacies to them, and the
Yeah.
donuts. And I mean, he can even tell you, you walked into my mother's house and there was always a Krispy Kreme donut box there. You know?
Yeah,
Wow.
or like
Yeah.
what they call like devil foods cake. It was like
Yeah.
yeah.
Those little mini
I went to
Right.
grandma's house for like devil food cake. Like it was
Yeah.
like a thing. But yeah, no, the industry is not getting any better. And I don't know, I guess it's just greed,
It is, and as successful as he is, it kind of surprises me because people are still very much into quick fixes. I mean, I work for
Mhm.
cosmetic surgeons, and it's
Right.
the abdominoplasty and the butt lift and the everything else, and
Yeah.
and now they have artificial abs. So you could take men and you could put
Yeah.
muscles in them, and it looks like they're working out like crazy, and they don't do anything. So
Yeah.
it's kind of, the industry's funny like that.
Yeah.
So again, you've been in the industry for how long? 40 something years? Yeah.
It's 50 years, yeah.
And so what are your, I guess, takeaways, or what are the good, the bad, and the ugly that you've seen over the last 40 years?
The bad and the ugly, advertising.
Wow. So marketing playing all the effect. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because people are going to tend to go
Yeah.
with people out there say and
Yeah.
do, and it's again a quick fix.
Yeah.
So if there's a pill out there that's going to help you lose weight, boy, I don't want to have to go through education and changing my dietary intake, because that's freedom for me, and I don't
Yeah.
want to change that. So why not take a pill that's just going to, listen, let me tell you a funny story. I talk a lot, so you have to excuse me.
I love it.
But my first doctors I worked for when I was 25, 26 was a very well-known OBGYN group in Miami. And we used to have drug people come in to sell their drugs to you. And anytime the diet drug guy representative came in, and you would think the drugs and the samples are supposed to go in the closet, the registered nurse used to take all the diet pills and distribute them among the staff.
I'm assuming things like that still happen today.
Imagine so, but that's the way it was. I mean,
Yeah.
the diet
Wow.
industry and the pills, anything, that's a quick fix.
Do you
Yeah.
think it's evolved at all over, like, again, like I know the industry when you were in it, and I know the industry now, like I don't know that it's evolved for the better in the last
No.
45 years.
There are very few people out there, if you want to look on a scale of 1 to 10 in the percentages, that are doing what Adam is doing compared to industries promoting medications.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very few.
And I wrote down, people that are taking these drugs, I would say 95% don't even look at the side effects. They don't care. They just turn a blind eye
They
to,
want a blind eye because they
Yeah.
want whatever's easiest for them, which
yeah,
requires less thought. And popping a pill is that thing. They don't
Yeah.
care about what it does to them 20 years down the road. They don't think like that,
yeah.
unfortunately.
All right, one more questions, Victoria. I know you probably got a ton.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to bring it back full circle. So
Yeah.
at what point, I guess, through kind of Adam's journey, I think you said 24 years, was it? He was monitored
24
for.
years.
At what point in that journey, like how quickly did things get better? I'm just interested in that kind of process.
That's a funny question, because doctors to this day beg him to go on medications. And
Right.
they did it back then. They wanted him on cholesterol and triglyceride medication when he was a teenager.
Yeah.
And thank God I wasn't for that at the time. And I avoided being on it myself for most of my life. And that's another whole story to get into. But they didn't want him, they wanted him on medication. I did not.
Mhm.
So full circle, he still to this day won't take it. And
Yeah.
You heard it here
And I-
first.
I get it. And sometimes I'll just get on the phone and call him and go, look, Adam, just have this test. It's a CT scan of the heart. It's going to tell you what you know.
Yeah.
You hear about these very healthy people that are dropping dead in the middle of a running marathon.
You see where my anxiety comes from?
But I
Yeah.
don't care. I don't care. I'd rather have him prepared. And
Yeah.
I did everything proactively because I refused to go on medications. So
Yeah.
I did all these tests, and I even found out what kind of cholesterol and what kind of plaque I had. And for me, fortunately, it's called a VAP type A, which is the
Okay.
thick kind of plaque that doesn't travel through your arteries. It just kind of stays
Wow.
there. So, and I also grew collateral arteries to make up for my deficits.
I have some amazing
Right.
genes over here, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
There's-
fascinating.
Yeah, there's so much information that I have only because I looked into it myself for me, because I was one of those people who refused to go on medication. So,
Yeah.
but now I kind of can't avoid that anymore, unfortunately.
But again, how crazy that they wanted to put me on medication. They didn't care how old I was. They didn't care how the long-term effects of something, like it was just medication. That's it. They
Yeah.
The
didn't care-
science field is based on money.
Of
And
course.
medicine is based on money. So
Yeah.
if they could sell the pills to you and get America or whoever on the medication, they're making hordes of money.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why, for me, why haven't they found a cure for cancer after all these years? Why? Because it's a big money maker,
The-
in my opinion. It's,
There's no money in healthy people.
right.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
You brought some stuff with you over there. What is that? Is that for here for
Oh,
us?
stuff I wanted to show you.
Yeah,
for-
you can bring it over. She brought some goodies, some
Yay.
photos and stuff.
Oh, amazing.
I do a lot of lectures, and this is just me doing a lecture.
I
Wow,
love
that looks
that.
good.
I used to do it for the French people. This is a before and after of somebody who did cool sculpting.
Oh.
So
Wow.
he met me at a convention and brought his pictures, his before and after pictures.
But I know you send me like articles like all the time on of stuff and stuff that you like writings that you created and
Right.
stuff.
Right.
She'll send me like stuff that she'll find, like, studies on fat or this, and she'll like from like 40 years ago, and she'll like send them to me because she like
Wow.
just found it and stuff like that.
I don't know if I should even say the company I worked for a very long time, Quick Weight Loss. I used to write all their behavior modification because they weren't looking into behavior modification.
Are they still around?
No, they finally sold, but I
Oh.
still talk to the owner. She sells wine now.
Oh.
She has a good winery. But I was with them for a long time, but weight loss facilities didn't get into the mindset of people.
And that's everything.
And it was just about diet. So I started writing behavior modification papers for them, and why not this and why not that, because they would never get into that.
It's,
Yeah.
And if you tell somebody why you shouldn't have Coke or why you shouldn't have this, because this is what it's doing to you, then they're going to maybe think twice about it before they give it
Yeah.
up. But the weight loss facilities don't even get into that. It's put you on a diet, give you a supplement, and
yeah.
good luck. You'll gain it back when you leave here, and then
Right.
you'll have to pay us more money to come back.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, this is so eye-opening and all coming full circle, because this is
Yeah.
it's really what we do. We want to educate people more than anything else. We always tell people like the weight loss is just like you understanding how to do the right thing. Like it's just the result of that. And so
Yeah.
it's so funny. Like I don't really remember all of this stuff 40 years
Yeah.
ago, 35 years ago, but she was doing it, and somewhere along the way I was picking it up, and so yeah, now we have the approach today.
I know. And
So,
it's like in the approach course, like all of the first sort of 10, 15 modules are all about mindset
mhm.
and goal setting and working out why you've been
Yeah.
sabotaging your body, and just trying to realign all of those thoughts and thought processes of members, because without that groundwork, they are just following a diet and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And we
makes
even
sense.
tell people, if you want a quick fix, this is not the right place for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else you want to leave us with, Mother?
No, I think that's about it. I just brought, a whole bunch of papers, mainly
But
from you.
this has been her life, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
now it's my life. I guess maybe taking it to the next.
Yeah, that
the
was
next
really strange because first he came home one day from junior college and said, I'm gonna be a chef. And I went, okay, where did that come from?
From nowhere. Like she can't cook to save her life. No
No,
offense.
that's okay. I'm not that good. I was into instant foods and stuff like that, but not for him, obviously. But yeah, it was amazing. I was the kind of parent that you have a passion for something, we need to find a way to get you to that point, regardless of what it takes. So I'm glad I recognized that at the time. I mean, he started working when he was 12.
Yeah.
He wanted to
That-
earn
that
money.
doesn't
So I
surprise
found him a job in the plant nursery, watering plants, and he earned money. So
Yeah.
yeah, and he also did Habitat for Humanity, which
Yeah,
was
we did that.
part
Yeah.
of him. Yeah,
A lot of nonprofit stuff.
a lot of
Yeah.
nonprofit stuff.
Well,
It's
this
so
was
interesting
yeah.
to
Go
hear
ahead.
this from your point of view, because whenever Adam talks about how he got into things, he'll talk about aspects of the journey, but I think
Right.
your influence is just so
Yeah, I don't really
fascinating.
talk about the
Always been there.
influence.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why, because it was such a subconscious influence rather than like
Yeah.
I didn't like at 12 years old, you don't know, like you're not thinking about weight loss and
Sure.
nutrition and stuff like that.
No.
So again, totally coming full circle. And anyways, I was just gonna say this has been it's my birthday tomorrow, so this has been an amazing birthday gift.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming over here, Mother.
Can I take a picture of that?
You can take a
Oh.
picture of you or yourself on the podcast.
Done anything like that? So
It's
it's like
you can take as many pictures as you want.
I didn't even know what a podcast was. So this
Yeah,
is
now
fun.
you do, and you'll be able to listen to yourself in a week or so.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everybody for listening to today's podcast. Thank you, Mom. Thank you,
Okay, well,
Victoria.
anytime.
If you want any more information about The Approach, simply go to jointheapproach.com or you can download the Approach app today.
Thank you for
Perfect.
having me.
Take care, guys.
Pleasure.